Hello everyone, my name is TheMadScorpyon, and welcome to another reset update for Destiny 2 in the episode of Revenant. Now, getting into it, there was an update, just to brief into it, so for some of the main things, basically that the duplication ball glitch on Vesper's host was fixed, and the level 50 onslaught chest only opening for one person, that has also been fixed. I will go more into that in detail in a later section. However, getting into the week of Destiny at large, there is boosted Crucible rewards currently going out, so that is something worth farming. But as well, they did announce a For Honor and Destiny crossover event. I imagine we'll have some crossover cosmetics that'll be launching sometime soon, so keep an eye out for that in the future. The world at large with the Nightfall currently is the highest battleground moon, which is not terribly terrible. It does have, I think, two tough sections that you have to get through. The final boss is the Scorn Sniper, if I recall everything, which is a little bit tough, but you do have plenty of cover to watch out for, so as long as you have people covering the ads and people keeping an eye on the boss, making sure to dodge into cover when they're about to shoot, you should do just fine. However, the weapon currently available is the Izume RR4 Sniper Rifle. It is not that terrible. It is also not that great. Personally, I feel like it does have the roles that make it good for the Crucible section, but aside from that, PvE, you can't really beat Succession or that one raid sniper from Salvation's Edge. There just is too many good options. Izume really needs to be a perfect thing, and even still, it has some rough competition to deal with. Moving into the Crucible, the labs currently is Class Clash again. I almost said Class Crash. It is 66 Relic and Control for our quick play. The 3v3 is Survival, and the usual Rumble is, of course, available. I imagine Trials this weekend because it seems like that Trials has once again started for this season, so keep in mind that in case you wish to hunt out your adept weapons for the week. The featured rotations. Exotic mission is the Avalon mission for Vex Caliber. Basically just roaming through the Vex network, fighting Brachion, and again, if anyone can actually let me know in the comments down below, if you don't have the weapons red bordered for this season, what do you actually get out of the season? I want to assume it's Season of the Risen stuff because, or was it Risen? No, Season of Defiance weaponry, just because that is the associate mission it came with, but personally I do not know as I've had all those weapons completed and just haven't had the bother to actually run Avalon because I haven't needed anything from it. So if you could down in the comments below, let me know. That would be much appreciated. The featured raids this week are Root of Nightmares and the Deepstone Crypt, so farming Eyes of Tomorrow or Conditional Finality, as well as the red borders associated from each raid. Now, I would say that there is no one that is more worth it than the other. It is honestly what weapons are you looking for, but aside from that, they're pretty solid raids to farm out for either if you just need the gear. The dungeons for this week is Ghost of the Deep and Prophecy. So there is actually two tiers I would rate this on. Ghost of the Deep, I would only do it if you literally need Navigator or are hunting Artifice Armor and for some reason really don't like yourself, as you do need Master Ghost of the Deep to do this. That being said, of course, Master is available and rewarding the basic Artifice Armor from this dungeon. At the same time, though, the Prophecy dungeon, it does not have access to a Master mode. However, you can farm out recently reworked weapons that are available in this dungeon and do it quite infinitely. However, there is, of course, no exotic to farm out for, nor Artifice Armor associated with this dungeon. Now, the raid challenges. Salvation's Edge starts with the Balanced Diet Challenge, which again, I don't know what that is. Crota's End is still currently bugged and doesn't have a challenge. The Root of Nightmares, again, is the featured raid, so all challenges are active there. King's Fall is the hands-off challenge. Vow Disciple is Looping Catalyst, which is Rope challenge. Vault of Glass is the Wait For It challenge, which is Templar. Deepstone Crypt, again, featured raid, so all challenges are once again active. Garden of Salvation is 0 to 100, that is Final Boss challenge, and the Last Wish is Strength of Memory challenge, aka Riven challenge. The Focused Armor loot from the various raids. The Salvation's Edge is Discipline focused for Master Mode armor, and the Root of Nightmares is Recovery focused for Master Mode armor. And as the Deepstone Crypt does not have a Master Mode, it does not have access to any of the Artifice boosts. I don't know why I said Artifice, it's just a stat focusing. And lastly, with Dares of Eternity is Fallen, Hive, and Zydron for the Vex. Getting into the weekly challenges though, of course we do have an additional week of seasonal challenges to go through. Then it is, of course, part 3 of Act 1. If you already hammered it out, it should already be completed. The next is unlocking minor discoveries in the fieldwork. Track them with Ido in the Tonic Laboratory. If you don't know how to unlock more available minor discoveries, you have to go into your Tonic capsule and actually hang on. You actually have to visit Ido's shop and interact with the menu here. You have to buy a bunch of the tonics. You won't initially get these menus. You have to buy basically a bunch of the tonics you have available. And you kind of need to go one by one to unlock the versions. If you buy a bunch of the green yellow potions right here, or tonics, you'll get the blue rarity, and if you get the blue rarity, you'll unlock this one. That's kind of how you go about unlocking all of the available minor field works, and that accounts for both this and the enriching tonics. You do the greens until you get all the blues, you do all the blues until you get all of the purples, and then you move on to other areas. Again, greens, then blues, and then get all the purples. That being said, moving back into the challenges themselves, of course, again, that was minor field works. And then you have the Unwavering, which is completing waves and onslaught salvation. It is percentage. I imagine if you do a solid 50, you'll probably knock this one straight out of the way. Then there's also the Throne World activities for basically just doing anything in the Throne World, from patrols, public events, and lost sectors, in addition to bounties. And of course, the Gambit challenge for the week, the High Value Hunter, defeating powerful combatants in Gambit. Bonus progress for defeating high value targets as always. Into the Bright Dust store. On the front page, you have Argent Terratorn, which if I recall, yes, this is actually a pretty sleek looking white and red setup for any of your classes. Just have a bit of an odd bluish purple for some of the odd undertones, but otherwise it fits quite well. I actually really like the look on this armor personally. Next is Dyed Finality, which if I recall was still a part of the basic shader pack that was available in the Bright Dust store. It's a pretty nifty looking look, especially if you're looking for Salvation's Edge lookalikes. I'm not gonna lie, I am a big fan. Then next is the Vex Incursion Defense, which is just another Vex effect recolored into yellow. Maybe it's from the Anomaly, who knows? And then we have the Unchained emote from Season of the Hunt, which is, I guess, supposed to be relevant of Crow breaking free of the chains that kept him held into the Tangled Shore, which, you know, that's just how it goes. And lastly, we have a Wolf Kissed Mark, which is basically the class item set from the Assassin's Creed crossover sets that goes to all three of your characters. So if you wish to get a armor ornament from either the Viking, the Ezio, or the whatever other Assassin's Creed era that you wish to grab, go ahead and get them while you can for Bright Dust. Into the flares, starting with the shaders and transmats here, we have the Sunrise Warrior, which is one of those ones that I kind of want to like, because I really do like that shade of pink. It's just all over the place. If it was a little bit more on the reverse tangent, where it's way more white, a little bit of that hot pink, and on guns it was a little bit more prevalent, I would actually be much more of a fan. Next we have Verdigris, which is just kind of that color. That's what it is. It's like a dark cyan green, or a darkish cyan with some blue tints, and otherwise some brown edges, or bronze. That looks more bronze. Next is Iridescent Coral, which is quite iridescent. It is basically just pick blue, add metallic silver, and it is quite shiny, in case you wanted a bright eyesore. And then Boreal Char, which is quite the opposite. It is basically just a bit of black and white. It's kind of Dead Orbit style without being Dead Orbit camo itself. Then for transmats, we have the Vex Arrival, which is basically just, you know, spawning in a little Vex cloud. The Nightmare Emergence from Season of the Undying, that's the right word, or basically just pop out of the Nightmare Pulse. And then the Vitreous Entrance, which is just you popping out of the Vault of Glass or an Oracle, whichever you pick to choose. Then in our main items, we have the Birthday Cake multiplayer emo, which is you handing a birthday cake to another friend. And I'm getting very, very excited about it, and blowing out the candles, and then dropping the cake. Oh, what a tragedy. Then there is the Jaunty Dance, which, you know, it's another one of those dances. I'm sure it's a reference from somewhere. Do I know it? I don't think so, but, you know, just kind of looking at it for a half second more, and I'm done looking at it. The Karamos Shell, which is a ghost shell. This is the Ancient Greek look-alike set. What Ancient Greek, but also Witness Darkness. So, if you just wanted your ghost to look like a little pot that is also partially cracked, that is a cute shell. The Alpha Zulu, which is a jump ship meant to look like a Apache helicopter, if I recall. Yeah, because the Osprey, I think, was the, what's the word I'm thinking for? Sparrow. The, oh, excuse me. Yes, the Apache helicopter look-alike. It doesn't have any guns or bombs or missiles, but it does look a lot like an Apache. So, if you want that, go ahead and go for it. The Red Veteran, which is the Sparrow that was a part of the Cade set. This is a Cade's honor set. Color scheme wise, it's not exactly great, but of course it is very representatious of the famous Cade 6. Moving on, next is the Raised Voice for the, I already forgot the word, Choir of One, which it's a not terrible ornament. It does look very Witness, very Darkness, but personally I do like the kind of sleek whitish yellow look that kind of reminds me of a Scar, just right basic. You know, it's a cool look, but I do like the purple effects of the Void more in the base. And next is the muffin top projection, which who would ever actually get that unless their whole persona was about muffins? With that, that is the reset update at large. Again, I will just go ahead and dart over to the patch notes in case you wanted to keep track of them. But if this is where the video ends for you, I appreciate the time you have watched, and I will see you in the next one. For update 8.1.0.2, right at the start, Excision. They fixed an issue where the incorrect skyboss was showing up during the final shape ending cinematic. I am ashamed I forgot to actually check out what that looked like without the proper skybox. Some changes and fixes for the seasonal stuff. Fixed an issue where Act 1 progression could be blocked if the player abandoned their prologue quest. Fixed an issue where the tonic capsule would soft lock the game when accessed through the quest menu. Fixed an issue where players would get locked out of creating tonics if the tonic brewing guide went to the postmaster. Fixed an issue where the major fieldworks did not play the correct voiceover. And fixed an issue where on-screen tutorials could not be dismissed during fieldwork missions. Yeah, that was a bit of an issue. Some of the big ones I mentioned earlier, fixed an issue where only the first player opening the extra chest at the end of the 50-round onslaught would earn the reward, so everyone can get everything they earned from 50 waves of onslaught. Into Vesper's Host, they fixed an issue where Master difficulty was not rewarding Artifice Armor. They also fixed the issue where players could duplicate nuclear cores, choosing the first or, actually, now that I think of it, several more encounters, because I forgot the nuclear cores were present in the other encounters. Then for Pathfinder, fixed an issue where the Pathfinder 3rd completion was not giving rewards. Into Armor, they added a debuff icon so players in the Crucible can identify when they've been marked by an enemy wearing Sanguine Alchemy. Peacekeepers fixed an issue where SMG could maintain their damage buff indefinitely when swapping between weapons. For the Heavy Burst hand cannons, fixed an issue where they were dealing slightly reduced precision damage. Revision 0 fixed an issue where Revision 0 would lock into sniper mode when using the Heavy Burst origin trait. The Last Word got its PvP fixed, so it is not dealing additional damage against players. However, the increased damage versus combatants has not been readjusted. Enjoy the PvE buff and yeehaw responsibly. The weapon has been re-enabled in PvP and Gambit. Fixed an issue where the Bungie Foundation Through the Storm emblem was missing its title in the collection screen. Fixed an issue where the Retinal Burn artifact perk has the wrong name assigned in the artifact screen. And for localization, fixed an issue with the French translation of the Precision Instrument perk, and fixed an issue where text would become truncated for some languages on the season content overview and offer screen. With that, that is the end of the reset and patch, and I will see you in the next video.